Okay, yay! Happy Monday, you guys. It is the last Monday of June, which is insane. This month definitely flew by. I'm super excited about tonight because we have an awesome guest speaker. We've been, she was awesome with me. She actually was supposed to speak on Rhett's due date, June 15th, which you guys know didn't have a call that week. And that ended up being a wild week. So we were scheduled for tonight, and I'm super excited. But I'm going to just run through some announcements really quick. Okay, so you guys know this, many of you know this, but any of you guys, just so you remember, the $20 off sale ends tomorrow. Okay, so June 30th. So you still have a little over 24 hours to get out there and do follow-ups and just do all the things. I know I'm having a lot of people come to me now that are finally getting that sense of urgency, like they want to get started with the sale. So just do not give up on that. And again, create that sense of urgency if you haven't already. Keep putting it out there. Talk about it on your stories, and people will probably respond. Salted caramel Shaco literally sold out, and I hope you're not like me and you didn't F up and not get some. And if you didn't get some, then be creative and try and buy some off of somebody who bought some because it is going to be a huge incentive, I'm sure, going into July to give away samples. I've already heard from some of the ladies in my boot camp that they love it. So make sure you take advantage of that. The virtual summit is coming up. So if you guys bought your ticket to summit already, you're already set up for summit, you can go to the BOD events app, the Team Beachbody events app, and that's where the schedule and stuff is being posted. So you'll be able to see all the lineup for that in there. We are also in week 5 of 6 of our 3-star qualification period. So we are going strong with that. And then lastly, you guys know the MBF sample workout launched today. And that will become available. The MBFA workout sample will come out on July 20th. And the challenge packs will officially go out for discount coaches on the 7th of July. So that window is the July 7th through the 26th, and then customers after that. So be talking about that. That is going to be my first program. So I'm talking about it already. I'm already breadcrumbing it out there, getting people kind of interested in seeing who wants to do it with me. And let me run through our leaderboard real quick. And we just want to shout out the ladies that are made Success Club so far this month. We've got Shannon at 9, Ashley at 8, Jess at 8, Jordan at 7, Hannah at 7, Sammy at 6, and Travis, which is Ashley's other business center, at 6. Myself at SC19 and Alex at 10. So we have so many girls, lots of new coaches that have already changed at least one life, maybe 2 lives this month. I know many of you guys are out there pushing for it to hit Success Club by tomorrow. So do not give up. There's still plenty of time. I've seen people hit Success Club in 24 hours. So do not take your foot off the gas, okay? All right, so let me introduce our guest speaker. So Dylan Mills, she is actually one of those coaches that I followed and really looked up to in the beginning when I first started coaching, and even more so now. It's so cool to see, like amazing actually, to see how far she's come. So if you guys don't know, I started coaching July of 2017. So I know many of you probably are, you have like these coaches that you just look up to and you follow, and they're just people like, they're just give you that inspiration. Well, Dylan was one of those coaches that I did that. Like I followed her. I loved her energy. I thought she was so down to earth and genuine. And I just felt like I had a lot in common with her. So I'm so excited to have her speak tonight because I actually stumbled on a call that she guest spoke on a couple months ago, and it was insane, like so good. So I reached out to her. So let me run down, and she was so kind to just immediately say yes, that she would share with us tonight. So let me run down like a little quick bio. So she is a mom of 2 toddlers. She's married to her husband, who is also a PE coach. She herself is a former teacher. She has taught for 6 years in the classroom, 4 of which of those she has been coaching. So at the end of June, I think, is your 4-year anniversary. She's 5-star in her first business center, 3-star in her second, diamond in her third. She's a 2019 Premier Coach, 2020 Elite Coach, and her team ended number 86 in the network last year. So yes, she is insane and amazing. And tonight, I'm excited because she's going to be talking all about intentionality. So we were talking about what we wanted her to talk about tonight. I know that many of you are busy, you work multiple jobs, you wear many hats, so I really wanted her to speak on this intentionality, because she herself, I'm sure she's going to talk about it, has worn many hats while building this business. So I'm going to stop my share, stop blabbering, and let you take it away, Dylan.
Oh, I'm so excited. I love doing calls. I am going to share my screen if I'm able. Let me see. Okay. Former teacher. I like having something in front of me. I also am like major squirrel brain. So if I don't have a presentation in front of me, I'll talk to you guys for like 10 hours and you'll be like, oh my God, I need to go to bed. So I will have something in front of me. So this is one of my favorite topics too. So I'm so excited to talk about it. It's just getting intentional with your business. So before I really go into the meat of this, I wanted to go over a little bit about my story. So all of this, I know she's basically just went over. Tomorrow is actually my 4-year coaching anniversary. So I'm super excited for that. I told Trent, I want to go get like a really expensive bottle of champagne and pop it and just like celebrate 4 years. Because when I started this, I never thought I would be, I don't know, I think you start it and you're like, this would be cool, like that'd be awesome to be in it for that long, or like I would love to keep going, and I still feel like I'm new at this. And I know it's such a cliche because everybody says that, but it's so true. But it's just crazy to think like, wow, it's been 4 years. So tomorrow's 4 years. I am a former teacher. I taught for 6 years. My husband's a PE teacher. He actually teaches at the same school where my mom teaches. And so that's how we met, was like connected through there. He was also my baby sister, who's 12 years younger than me. He was her PE coach, which is like crazy. I would actually make jokes too and be like, do you have PE today with my boyfriend? Like before we were even dating, because I just thought he was cute. So I now coach full time. All the rest of this she already said. So it's awesome. I love the recognition, like I love shout outs and all the positive things. But what I also want to talk about is kind of what also has gone on behind the scenes while all of these awesome, amazing things were happening. So number one, when I started this business, my husband and I had just been told we had a less than 3% chance of ever getting pregnant, ever having children. And that was super hard for me. I am a major control freak. And so like pregnancy and the entire childbirth experience, like all of it, I mean, even being a mom is like totally out of my control. And so that was a really hard thing for me, because it was like, we were married, we were ready to have kids, and it just wasn't happening. And then finding out that we would have to go through fertility treatments to ever possibly even have children, if it could maybe even happen. Like we were even looking into like, how much does adoption cost? How much does this cost? Because again, that's like my control freak tendencies. So we were going through fertility treatments. We did end up getting pregnant. And I went through 2 high-risk pregnancies. I actually found out I was pregnant with my son at 14 weeks postpartum. It's all ladies on here. So I hadn't even had a cycle or anything yet after having my daughter. And just randomly was like craving beef jerky a ton. And I was like, oh my God, I think I might be pregnant. And I took a test and I was. So that was like a total surprise and like total God thing, because we weren't trying at all. And 2 rounds of bed rest, 2 C-sections, 11 months apart. I was also teaching full time during all of this. We were also tight on money. So even signing up to coach or to do any of this was like insane. Like my husband was like, I don't think we have the money to spend on this. So I put it on a credit card. We were already drowning in credit card debt. My mom was also diagnosed with breast cancer while I was pregnant with my son and while I was going through a high-risk pregnancy and / still recovering from the C-section I had just had. And she went through chemo and radiation and all that. And so I share all of this because this was all happening while all the other stuff was happening. That year that my team was premier was also the year that I found out I was pregnant with my son, had to be put on bed rest. My mom was going through chemo and radiation. So that whole entire year was actually the year that my team went premier. And so the reason I share all this as well is because I think a lot of times any of these things, like reading this list, if I had any of my girls come to me and say like, hey, my mom was just diagnosed with breast cancer. She's gonna have to go through chemo and radiation. I just don't think I can like put my energy into this right now, or I think I need to take a step back. Any of that, I think any of us would be like, oh my gosh, yes, I totally understand, do what you need to do. But the beauty of this business is that instead of taking a step back from it, this was something in all of these times that I could pour into it even more and let this be an outlet for me. And so I think we kind of have that choice, like when times are hard or when times are crazy or when maybe we feel like it's just something extra on our plate, that we really can pour into this and let it be a positive outlet for us and let it add to our lives instead of feeling like it's taking away things. And so I want you guys to kind of keep that in mind when we're going through all of this. And one of the reasons I was able to show up during all of those times is because I had a vision. And I will talk my girls' ears off about having a vision. My husband will even quote me. He's like, do you know your why? What is your why? Because I say it all the time, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If you guys don't know why you want to do this, if you don't know why you want to build this business, if you don't have a vision for what you want from it, then when things get hard, when you're getting a lot of no's, when you miss a goal, when any of that kind of stuff happens, obstacles get in the way, guess what our first response is going to be? If our why is not big enough, then we're like, I guess this isn't for me. Like, I just think it's not working for me. Like, I think I just need to take a step back. Like, this must not be my thing. But if your vision and your why are so big, then anything else that gets in the way doesn't matter. Like, it just means you need to refocus a little bit and still make that thing happen. Make that decision. So if your vision is big enough, then it's a decision you make every day to show up because you want that vision to come true. You want that to happen. And once you decide that, you just show up every single day and you make it a non-negotiable because you know that that vision is so big and so real and so wanted that you can't help but show up. So what I'd love to do, I'm going to open up the chat over here. I would love to hear your vision. So with this business, I am going to, and keep in mind, I'll talk about this in a second, but I'm going to stay home full time with my kids. I'm going to pay off all our credit card debt. I'm going to pay off student loans. I'm going to help my husband not have to work 2 jobs. I'm going to buy our forever home. Like, what vision do you have cast for your life that you can make happen with this business? And again, it'll change over time because you'll get closer to that vision. You'll be like, oh my gosh, wait, I'm making this happen. I need to set an even bigger vision. Let's see. With this business, I'm going to pay off all our debt and help my husband start his own business. I love that. Pay off student loans and quit my second job. Awesome. Pay off credit card debt, student loans, keep myself healthy and accountable to myself. Someday when I have children, I'd love to be able to stay home. I knew what you meant. I'm going to be per diem as an RN, help my boyfriend start his own business, more time for the farm. What? That's awesome. All right, let's see. Keep them coming. Okay, there's more than 4 people on here. I swear reading anybody's like vision, anybody's why, just like it always gives me chills. Let's see, one more. Someone else typed theirs. Let's see. Pay off student loans, credit card debt, and be able to go part-time in my job. I love that. All right, if you didn't type yours, keep them coming. So what I want you guys to be thinking every single day when you wake up is, if I show up for this, if I succeed at this business or win, I can do this. I have a house here because that's my goal now, is buying our forever home and moving out of our tiny little house. If I can bring in more money, I can do this. If I can get out of my comfort zone, I can do this. And all of these things take getting out of your comfort zone. All of these things obviously take bringing an income in and being successful at this business. So I want you to show up every day because that vision is in the back of your mind. And then I want you to think, what will it take for you to make those dreams happen? So this is really where our business comes into place, and being intentional with this business comes into play. A lot of times I think we lump our visions and our goals together like in the same bubble, but they're actually really different. So your vision that you set, like paying off student loans, paying off credit cards, going part-time, like all those things that you guys just said, those are your visions. Those are the things you want to make happen. Your goals are going to be the things that are going to get you there. So those are those tangible things in our business that are measurable that will get us toward our vision. Visions are sexy. Visions are awesome. Visions are the things that like give me chills. Like I love hearing about those, but your goals are the things in this business that we can work toward every day. And we can see that like, hey, I accomplished this, so I'm closer to this vision. I accomplished this, so I'm closer to staying home full time. I'm closer to paying off my student loans. So the goals that we need to set in this business are things that you guys already know, like hitting Success Club. Honestly, I tell my girls Success Club 6 pays back like your investment. It pays for your shakes. It pays for whatever you're ordering, your performance line, any of that. Success Club 10 makes you a profit. So for me, I personally, and it gets you paid leads. So for me, I tell all my girls, if you want to be a business builder, Success Club 10 should honestly be your non-negotiable. And I know sometimes we hear Success Club 10, we're like 10 whole points, but you guys break it down. That's helping 5 people every month. 5 people. That's helping like 1, maybe 2 people a week. So if you set that as your goal, like every single week, I'm going to help 1 more person change their life. Then you can make it even bigger. Every single week, I'm going to help 2 people change their life, until that goal gets so big where you're like, I'm going to help as many people as possible change their life every week, which is how it should be. But set those goals for yourself. So I highly recommend having Success Club 10 as a minimum goal for yourself. So changing 5 lives. And you can even word it as that. I can't show it to you right now because it's on the other side of my computer, but I have my whole calendar like whiteboard behind my computer, and I set a goal for myself for how many lives, not Success Club points, but how many lives I want to change every single month. So when I make my July calendar on Wednesday, I will draw all new bubbles at the top, and I do like a ton of just, again, this is like former elementary teacher, but I do a ton of just like little circles at the top for how many lives I want to change. And then every day, every time that I change a life and someone gets signed up, whether it's as a coach, as a challenger, whatever, I color in that bubble. And then that just shows me like that's little goals that I set for myself. And those aren't a vision. I'm not like, I would love to work this business because I would just love to change 20 lives this month. That's not my vision, but that's a goal that I have. That's something I want to accomplish that also gets me closer to my vision. So kind of keep that in mind as you set goals and set visions for yourself, because the visions are the big things. The goals are the things that are going to get you there. So what are some other things that are going to get you there too? Rank advancing. So if you're not Emerald yet, getting yourself to Emerald. Once you're Emerald, getting yourself to Diamond, getting yourself to Star Diamond. I remember when there's like a gnat in here, so I'm just going to keep like waving my arms around. I remember I was so income driven because like I said, we were both teachers. We were struggling financially. We were going through fertility treatments. We were like drowning in credit card debt. A lot of it was because we were living beyond our means, like trying to keep up with everybody else around us. And I can remember asking everybody, like every single person I came in contact with that was staying home full time while coaching, I was like, hey, so when did you decide you were ready? Like, when did you match your income? When did you decide that you were comfortable staying home full time? Like when, like asking that question over and over and over again. And the number one thing, and I'll tell it to anybody else too, because it's so true, but once you hit 2-star in your business and you're able to open up your second business center, that's where you're going to see, obviously hitting Diamond, obviously hitting Emerald, those are like jumps in it. But if you have really big a really big vision. I want you to set this really big goal, every single one of you, that you're going to hit 2-star and you're going to open up your second business center, because that is genuinely where you're going to see a huge jump in your income. That is where you're going to see a huge, income. I don't know how to word that, but you're going to see a huge jump in your income. And obviously anything that you're doing is going to help with that. You'll be able to work that business center and you're basically like double, triple dipping in your income. So if that is something on your vision board that I think every single thing that you guys said is going to take having financial freedom. So set that as a goal for yourself as well. So remember, those goals are going to be those tangible things that we can get to. So if you're not diamond yet, setting that as a goal for yourself, setting 2-star as a goal for yourself. And then as far as what we say we're going to do in our visions, a lot of times, and you guys didn't really say any of these, I think you were just kind of like completing my sentence. No, Shannon said, I am. I think a lot of times when we ask people like, hey, what's your vision? What's your why? Whatever. People will say like, well, I want to, my goal, I want to hit diamond. I'm going to try my best to hit diamond. Like, I'm going to try to do it. And every single time that I hear someone say like, I want to do this, I'm going to try to do this, I automatically know that it's probably not going to happen. Because if you say, I want to, or I'm going to try to, then that means that there's some limiting belief in the back of your mind already there that's telling you why it may not happen. So there's some kind of excuse that's popping up where you're like, well, I want to hit diamond, but I don't really have enough coaches yet. Like, I don't know if I have time to get there by this point. I just am super busy right now. Like, I don't know if anybody's going to trust me. Like, there's some story you're telling yourself that I'm going to ask you guys about in a minute. But I want you guys to make sure that you change that wording, and that anybody else you talk to, anybody else for the rest of your coaching career that comes to you and uses this verbiage, I want to, I'm going to try to, I want you to make them flip that script and instead say, I will, or I am. I will hit diamond by this date. I am going to be a 2-star diamond. I am a 2-star diamond coach. I am home full time with my kids. I am student loan free. I am, like, whatever that is for you. And then my challenge for you guys, as far as like getting intentional with this, is every single day, first thing in the morning, like when you sit down to work in the morning, I want you to write those statements out. I don't know if you guys have the Start Today journal. That's the Rachel Hollis journal, but it has on there like your 10 like I am statements. So like, I am, like, whatever your goals are. I am a 10-star diamond coach. I am a superstar diamond coach. I am a 2-star diamond, like whatever that looks like for you. I am home full time with my children. And it has you write out those statements like in that affirmation form. And it sounds so hokey, but I swear writing it down every single day in that form is so real, and it makes it totally come true. So I challenge you guys to do that as well. Any like diamond pushes or like leadership advancements that I do, one of the things I make them do on the top of their notebooks every day, because I still follow the notebook method, but on their notebooks where they do their invites every day, like that blank space at the top of their notebook, I make them write out their affirmation. So they say like, I am a diamond coach. I am, and they like all ties into their goals and vision. So I challenge you guys to do that every single day, to write those out. If you guys even have like a team thread or something, when you wake up in the morning, type out 3 of those. Like first thing in the morning, right when you wake up, type out 3 of those to the rest of your team and just be like, good morning, I am a diamond coach. I am, like, whatever those are for you, because it really, really, really does help. Okay, so now you guys don't have to like type any of this, but I want you to just think, okay? So when I tell you these things, I want you to just think really hard with zero judgment. I want you to think of what immediately pops up in your head, okay? So if I tell you right now, you can be diamond in 2 weeks. You can be 2-star in 2 months. You can be premier this year. What pops up in your head? Do you say to yourself, yeah, I could totally do that. Yeah, I can do that. Or is there something else that pops up, like some kind of excuse story, some kind of limiting belief, something that tells you why you couldn't do that, why that can't happen. And this is totally just for you guys, so you don't have to type it, you don't have to say anything about it, but I really want you guys to reflect on that and think about that, because finding that excuse story, finding that limiting belief that's going to pop up, that's going to help you like hone in on what you need to work on, what you can fix, what you can do, what you can act on. If I think, I mean, yeah, somebody else can do that because they have X amount of followers, I don't have that many followers, then what's my excuse story? It's that I don't have enough followers. But I mean, I hit diamond, 1 star, 2 star, and I think I had like, by 2 star, I think I maybe had like 600, 700 followers. And so I don't want you guys to think about any of those things as I only have this, or I can't do this because I'm going through this, because I have this, I don't have this. I want you to find that excuse story, and I want you to use that and tell yourself, like, flip that script and say, I can do this even if I only have 700 followers. I can do this with 200 followers. I think I hit diamond with like 250 followers. Like, and I've seen girls do it with even less than that. I've got one of my really good girlfriends just hit 10 star, and I think she has like 3,000 followers or something. And so really, really think it's not the number of followers you have. It's not the number of likes you have. It's not the number, I mean, success club points matter, but it's not like you don't have to hit 100 success club points every month to be successful, but really think like, how are you using this? Are you engaging with all the people around you? Are you sharing about this every day? Are you talking about it on your stories every day? Are you showing up every day and showing people what's possible? And so find that excuse story and flip the script and make that your superpower. So even though I don't have this, I can still make this happen. Even though I'm not where she is, I can focus blinders on where I am, and I can still make this happen. And the only thing that's going to stand between you and that goal or that vision is this excuse story, this limiting belief, this right here is the only thing that's going to get in your way, because that's the story you're going to tell yourself. That's the thing that's going to be like, well, I couldn't do it because I didn't have time. Like, I cannot get up early in the morning. Can you not get up early, or do you not want to get up early? Is it uncomfortable to get up early, or can you physically not get up early? So really think about that. And that's just kind of a reflection for you guys, for yourself. And then just, this is one of my favorite quotes of all time, but just controlling the controllable, letting go of the rest. So even with your excuse story, even with those limiting beliefs, even with the things that you feel like are getting in your way, focus instead of those uncontrollables. I can't control how many people follow me. I can't control how many people like a picture. I can't control how many people say yes. I can't control how many people say no. But what are the things that I can control? I can control how I show up for myself every day. I can control how many invites I send. I can control my nutrition for the day. I can control my reaction to things. I mean, it's the same thing with kids. Like, I can't control that my kids didn't want to eat their delicious dinner tonight, but I can control my reaction to it, staying composed. Like, if you eat 3 bites of sausage, like, I can control myself, but I can't control them. So really thinking about that and putting that into play. I think a lot of times too, like, I'll have girls that are like, everybody's saying no to me. Like, nobody wants to join in this month. It's $140 and nobody wants to join in. Okay, I can't control their reactions, but what can you control? You can control how you're showing up. You can control what you share. You can control how many people you're talking to. Like, so focus in on those things. So push that excuse story aside, find the parts of that that you can control, and then just focus on those controllables every single day. And anytime something like that pops up, think, okay, in this, I mean, it could be outside of coaching too, but like, think, in this situation, what are the things I can control? What are the things that I just need to let go of? And I promise you that will change your life. I have this actually written, I'll show you guys. I have this actually written on a sticky note that's on my, you guys, this nut's about to drive me crazy. I have it written on a sticky note on my computer, but this is something I think is really powerful too, along with our intentionality, but just thinking, am I willing to become the person it takes to achieve the things I want? So thinking about that vision that you guys told me in the beginning, okay, so Amy's vision, how is she showing up every day to make that possible? When she's in that place where that vision has come true, how has she showed up every day? And is she willing to do those things? Like, if it's going to take getting up early, are you willing to get up early? If it's going to take staying up a little bit later some nights, are you willing to stay up a little bit later? If it's going to take sending X amount of invites or going all in on her workout or focusing on her nutrition or like whatever that looks like for you, are you willing to actually do those things and put forth that effort in order to get to that place? Or is your excuse story going to get in the way of that? And so we're going to go a little bit deeper into like that next piece of that. So even deeper, we talked about vision, we talked about the goals. So now we're going to go a little bit deeper into what do you actually need to do every single day to get yourself there. So what are the things you're willing to give up? I remember, and I'll tell this story all the time, but I remember when I first started coaching, getting on a call and hearing like a top 10 coach saying, like multiple people saying like, oh my gosh, well, I just stopped watching TV for the first 2 years of my business. I just didn't ever turn the TV on ever again. And I just worked. Like while my husband watched TV, I just worked. And I was like, gosh, I cannot. Like, I love TV. I love it. I really do. Like, that's one of the things, like, I know it doesn't sound great, but like, that's one of me and my husband, like, that's our like nighttime together is like, oh my gosh, let's binge watch our shows on Netflix. Let's like, what show are we going to go to next? Movie night, whatever. Like, I love TV. I love my Real Housewives. Like, that's a reward for me. I love having The Office on in the background. Like, I cannot give up TV. So that's not something for me I'm willing to give up. But what am I willing to give up? I am willing to give up an hour of sleep in the morning and get up earlier, because then that still means I can be present with my kids. It still means that I can watch TV and be present with my husband at night. Like, find those things. Like, what am I willing to give up and what am I not willing to give up? And it does, like, you guys, to be successful in this business does not mean that you can't ever watch TV again, that you can't go out with friends, that, I mean, right now, Corona, but like that you can't do all the other things you want to do. But it, like, find what you are willing to give up. And I will preach it, like, I'll say it till the cows come home, but if you're not getting up early in the morning, try getting up early in the morning. It's Monday. You have the rest of this week. Try for the next 3 weeks to get up 30 minutes to an hour earlier in the morning and checking off as many things as you can. And I'll give you guys like a little, I can share it with Amy too, but I'll give you guys something that I use in the mornings. But really, really think, like, am I willing to get up a little bit earlier in the mornings to be able to, number one, live that life of my visions and my dreams, to hit that goal that's going to get me there, and to be able to do those activities that I don't want to give up, like to be present with my kids, to watch TV, to hang out at night, to not stress later on in the evening. Like, getting up early, I promise, is going to be like the saving grace to everyone. And then really think, what will this add to my life? So a lot of times we think about like, oh, it's just so hard because I'm having to get up early. Like, I'm having to send invites. I'm having to post on my stories. I just feel like I'm always on social media. If that's what you feel like, then you need to restructure your day and you need to find unplugged times. You need to figure out how to redo that, because I never feel like I'm on my phone all day long. And I'll share little like boomerangs every now and then, or I'll take pictures at one point and totally unplug, and then later on when I have time, upload pictures or boomerangs or whatever. So kind of schedule that out too, and think about what this is adding to your life, not what it's taking away from it. So if you take anything away from this call, if you've muted me, if you've like toned out, I want you to take these things away. Number one, I don't know why I have this little blue dot on here. Number one, wake up early. Number two, share what you're doing every day. Share your story, share your journey, share as much as possible. Share transformation pictures. I tell my girls, those top, like, if you look at the top 2 rows of your feed, those top 2 rows should have at least one transformation picture. And if you think about it, like, if you're posting once a day-ish, like maybe you skip a day here and there, like on the weekends, I don't really post as much, but if I am posting like a transformation Tuesday every Tuesday, that's going to give me one transformation every other row. And to me, I think that's really helpful because your feed is your storefront. So if someone's coming to your storefront, they need to kind of see what you're about and see those transformations, see like pieces of your life. And something helpful you guys can do, this is off topic, but something helpful you guys can do too is, if you just don't do it right now because just listen, but if you go to your Instagram and just screenshot your feed, look at those top 6 pictures that you see and see, do these represent who I am? So one of the things that I always have my girls do is come up with a list of things about themselves. So like my mentor, who's one of my best friends, but Ashley, she came up with like a color wheel where you fill in the color wheel, like each little block is something about you. I just have my girls make a list, and just I tell them to listen to their favorite song and then just write as many things as possible, Enneagram 7, but write as many things as possible about yourself. So I love Real Housewives, I love wine, I love my kids, I love Disney World, I love running, I'm obsessed with my team. Like, think of those things about yourself and write them out. And those are things that you should see on your feed every day, see on your story, see different aspects about. That can even help you typing out like your bio on Instagram. Like, who are you? Think about those things that you just wrote down. And if you're ever stuck, like, I don't even know what to post today, think about those things about yourself. Do you love, I hate cooking. So there's another thing about me. I hate cooking. Do you love cooking and you love coming up with healthy recipes? You love coming up with recipes. Then have one day a week that's like a what I ate Wednesday, or like a, I don't know, I was thirsty Thursday. Do you love making drinks? I don't know. But like, find a day of the week where it can just be like something consistent. One of my coaches, who actually went elite with me last year, which was super cool, but she, also a teacher, she's actually going to be staying home full time now, but she was doing like a top knot Tuesday. So every Tuesday she was doing a top knot Tuesday. Friday she was doing like a tie-dye Friday. She for a while was doing like a teacher tip Tuesday. So think of little things that people can know you for, that you can share about every day. That was off topic, but that was kind of going along with sharing. Okay, inviting. This is one that gets like super skipped over, and I know if you guys haven't read the book Eat That Frog, it's a really quick read, but if you haven't read that, highly recommend, or Go for No, that's another quick one. But inviting, that's going to be a key point to your business, is inviting people. And I know sometimes it's scary. I know sometimes people put it off till last because they're like, oh, I didn't get invites done, but I'll just do those later. And one of the things I recommend is getting that done first thing in the morning, because number one, you're in a clear headspace, or you should be. I'm about to go berserk on this gnat. You're in a control the controllable. You're in a clear headspace. You've just woken up, like, turn on some music that you like, listen to a call, listen to this call if it's recorded, I don't know. Listen to a call that's motivational, listen to your personal development, whatever it is that's in a positive space for you. For me, I turn on Spotify and I just have like 50,000 playlists, just depending on my mood, but it's music that I like. And I just send out all my invites first thing in the morning. So I'll do my devotional, I'll do my prayer journal, and then I just invite. Before I answer messages, before I respond to girls on my team, before I respond to challengers, I do my invites first, because that's a big income producing activity. That's a big non-negotiable for me, is reaching out to those new people. Make sure that you're following up. Make sure that you're reaching back out to people, you're circling back around, and then just repeat all of this all over again every single day. And I promise you, like, I know a lot of times we're like, what's the secret? What makes it work? But it is just doing these things every day, and then just be intentional with it. So when you sit down to work, intentionally be sitting there working. If I'm sitting there sending invites, yes, I may have something playing in the background, whatever, but that's what I'm doing. I'm not like sending invites and like trying to wrangle my kids and cooking dinner or like whatever else, because I want to be intentional in all those times. I want to be intentional with my kids. I want to be intentional with my husband. I want to be intentional with my business as well. So think about that too, like really get intentional with the time that you're spending. Again, wake up early, schedule your work hours and your unplugged time. I think a lot of times we hear like, schedule your work hours, have your work hours. Like, my girls know that after a certain point, like, I'm not going to answer them the rest of the night because it's my unplugged time. So also schedule that unplug time for yourself. You don't have to be on call 24/7 in this business. Like, it's good for people to know that you have a life outside of this business. I think if people feel like, oh, if I coach, I have to be on my phone 24/7, that's kind of a turnoff. And you don't have to be on your phone 24/7. I remember when I first started having this conversation with my husband, because he was like, I don't know about this coaching things. I feel like you're on your phone all day, every day. Like, you're always responding to people. And in my mind, I had this, like, when I started mindset where it was like, but if I don't answer this person right this second, they may not join in with me. They may decide differently. They may reach out to someone else. They may talk to someone else. Like, that was a limiting belief for me, that if I didn't answer them right that second, then they'd go to someone else. And you guys, again, control the controllable. If that person decides to go to someone else because you didn't answer them in 8 hours while you were sleeping, do you really want them to join in with you? Like, what's the rest of your experience with them going to be like? So really think, like, I'm not saying take 5 days to answer someone, but schedule that unplug time, and even let people know. Like, you can post that on your stories and make that something known every single day. Like, okay, time to unplug and hang out with my family for the rest of the night. See you guys in the morning. And that's totally fine. And I'll have people message me at night and they're like, hey, sorry, I know you're unplugged right now, but I wanted to make sure I remembered to ask you this. And then they know I'm not going to answer it until tomorrow when I'm sitting down for work and answering messages. Also, turn off your notifications. I have all of my Instagram, Facebook Messenger, email, all of those notifications are turned off for me. So I don't see when any of those pop up, because I want to sit down, and if I'm going to work and I'm answering messages on Instagram, then I'm sitting down and answering messages. But if I know myself, again, squirrel brain, and if I'm like playing with my kids and my Apple Watch pops up and says like messages popping up wherever, what's my natural, like, human inclination is to be like, oh, I wonder what so-and-so said. And then I open them up. And either number one, I'm not present with them anymore because I'm trying to answer this person, or number two, I read it and then I totally forget to respond. So set that intentional time too. And even if you want to see your notifications, that's fine, but try turning them off for a week and just see how that works for you. But it does help with that. And then I promise I'm almost done. I literally will talk for like 10 hours. Your IPAs and non-negotiables, I can share this tracker if you want it to, but this is one that we had for girls that were in our recent diamond push that we had. But this is something I think is really important, like this one, or using your Beachbody like Success Club tracker. Either of those, use something so that every single day you're checking it off, and make that a non-negotiable for yourself. Like, you guys are business owners, and I think the cool part about this is that we're our own bosses, but then the like drawback about this is that we're our own bosses. Like, there's not going to be someone coming to you and being like, Shannon, did you check off your entire list today? Like, do you want to keep your job or not? Like, you get to keep your job regardless. So I want you guys to kind of treat yourselves, like, step out of body every day or once a week when you need to look at your tracker and be like, okay, stepping outside of myself as a boss of myself. If I look at what I did this past week, did I show up for my business? Would I still have a job? And like, what can I do better? Nothing judgmental, nothing harsh on yourself. Like, maybe it was just a hard week, but think about moving forward. Okay, so what can I do better this week? What do I want to do better on this week? And maybe it's every single night before my head hits the pillow, I want to have every single thing checked off my list. Awesome. Like, make that a non-negotiable. This is your business. And if you want it to be a business and you want your visions, goals, dreams, all of that to come true, you have to show up every day. Okay. And then one of my last things, a survival list. If you guys don't have a survival list, I highly recommend making one. For me, a survival list is literally just, it's not an everyday list, but it's a, oh my gosh, I slept through my alarm. I am running late. I mean, this is my full-time job now, but let's say I was still teaching. I'm running late for work. Maybe my kid was up puking all night. Maybe I was up puking all night. Like, whatever that looks like for you, whatever thing was happening that you did not start your day the way you wanted to, or it's not going the way you wanted to. Maybe it was just a really crappy day. Your survival list is that part of your business where you still show up, like your store is still open, but maybe you're just not doing the things that you would do every single day. Like maybe you're just not getting that whole list checked off. And again, this should not be every single day of your business, every single day of your life. This should just be those like, oh my gosh, today, like my kid was up all night. I'm exhausted. I was up all night. I know for my sanity, I need to take a nap during nap time, but I'm still going to get my survival list done. And it should be like brushing your teeth. Like if my kids are up puking all night, am I still going to brush my teeth in the morning? Yes. If I'm running late for work, am I still going to brush my teeth in the morning? Yes. Answer should be yes to all this. So this is what these activities should be. So come up with 5 daily non-negotiables and have a number for yourself. Like number 1 for me is always my devotional and prayer journal. I will do those every single morning, even if like my kids are up before the crack of dawn, like whatever ridiculous time, Baker, but whatever, then I'm still going to do my devotional prayer journal. Maybe it just doesn't get done the very first thing. Maybe I just do it later, but it's a non-negotiable for me. Answering messages, that's a non-negotiable for me. Getting my workout in, that's a non-negotiable for me. Even if it needs to happen late at night, even if it needs to happen at a time that's not like prime time for me, it's still going to happen. Maybe you have a certain number of invites. So instead of normally, like on your good days, maybe you send 15 invites, but on your survivalist days, you're like, I just need to send 3 invites and I'll feel like I had a good non-negotiable day. Like I connected with people, I invited some people, and I can just be done. And then something else like checking in with your challengers, checking in your boot camp, whatever you call it. And then I have this quote. So I have this that I share with all my girls, and I can send this to you too, but it's like a really simple, like just a really quick Canva. But you're not in control of what life throws at you, but you are in control of the fight. So that goes along with the same thing. Like I'm not in control of anything else that happens in my day, but I'm in control of how I react, how I show up, what I do. So think about that too. And this is another quote that I also have. I'm a really big quote person, but this is another one that I have on a sticky note right here. But it's anyone can do this, chug your energize and take massive action. And I want that to be something motivational for you guys, because there's nothing that I have that you guys don't have. There's nothing that's like, oh, Dylan can do this because XYZ. Nope, absolutely nothing. I have literally been sitting right there. I remember listening to guest speakers. I've remember other people saying this, and there's 2 choices. When you see someone succeeding, you have 2 mindsets you can take. Number 1, good for them, that'll never be me. Or number 2, good for them, I can do that too. And I really want you guys to take that second one. So push the excuse stories aside, push the limiting beliefs aside, and just get super intentional, take action every day, show up every day, and you guys literally can do absolutely anything you want. So, okay, that's my whole 50 minutes. Awesome. If you guys have questions or anything, I'm happy to answer questions. I know I just like talk your ears off, but I will like literally talk all day. So
that was amazing. Oh my God. And I just realized how dark it is in here, but that was so good. I love the thing that you brought up before in the beginning about this being like, you know, when you were talking about all the things that were going on in your life, you know, whilst you were like hitting premiere and all these things, I feel like that is so relatable, because it's true. Like life doesn't stop just because, and we know this because this is life regardless of whether you're a coach or not. Like life just happens. It doesn't, but we can choose like how we navigate through it. And that last quote you shared was just like spot on. I love it. How we can control like the fight. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control like how we show up for it. And I think that's really just been like a huge one for me. To just, it's just the concept of like whatever is thrown at you, whatever happens to you, to choose to just lean into it versus lean against it or lean away from it, because that's the only way like past it. And I think for, you know, that's something that I talk about all the time, you know, to the girls and just like on my social media is like, this is an outlet. Regardless of anything else, it's an outlet because life is crazy, life is hard, you know, but like this is my outlet. Like this is my sanity. This is my rock. And like, so I like just love that you brought that up because I really think that it's something that again is one of those things it's easy not to do. It's easy not to think that way and write it off and just kind of say that, oh, I don't have time, or, you know, let all that stuff happening to you be that thing that, you know, that limiting belief, or it can be your reason, you know? So I just love that.
Mm-hmm. What I even say too, like, if I were to, like, I remember other points when I was still teaching where I'd be like, miss a goal or something would happen. I'd be like, oh gosh, well, I still have teaching. Maybe I'm just not meant to, like, maybe this just isn't the path. Like, maybe I'm not supposed to do this full time. Maybe whatever else. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Or someone would like say something negative or whatever, like, came at me. And then I would just have to stop and think, like, if I wasn't doing this, what would my life look like? And I mean, I'm at the point now where I'm like, I can't ever imagine not doing this. But like, even then it'd be like, I would still want to work out. I would still want to focus on my health and nutrition. I would still want to have friends who are positive and like focusing on their health and nutrition. Like, I don't know, like it just comes to a point where it's like, if you were to take this away, what would your life look like? And I think for every single person, we'd be like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Like, even without our vision, even without our why, like this should be adding something positive to your life anyway. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Dylan? I know we had a couple people pop off, but I don't know. I just loved it all. I think that is exactly, I know Shannon, I know what Shannon was like, this is everything I need to hear. And I agree. I think it's everything that we all needed to hear because I think it's, you know, obviously you brought it up like COVID. It's just been a wild few months. And I think, again, it's just one of those situations where you can choose to, we can all choose to like let this be like affect us in a negative way or let it be something that we can rise above and like again just let it make us stronger and build our strengthen our belief and our vision, you know. That's definitely like something that I always used to ask myself too is like because I think that's something that a lot of people don't talk about or maybe they're ashamed to admit it is like the idea that of course like we all come to points where we wonder and we question like what would my life look like without coaching because we all have those limiting beliefs that pop up and you know when things get hard like we all have that what if thought like what if I quit like what if I stop tomorrow and I think for me that was like the same thing it was like I couldn't ever stop like doing any of these things. So there's no point. I can't go backwards. Like I can't give this up at this point. So it's just like, let's just keep going, you know? I just like can't imagine going back. I just want to go forward. So
Totally.
I could talk forever as well. But I'm so thankful
Also,
that
like,
you
I'm
did.
trying to get one of those like hooks for me to like, oh my gosh, just stop. Like,
That's how I feel sometimes. Like I could just talk on and on and on and on. But I won't do that. Dylan, thank you so much for this. I know we all appreciate it. And if you would send me that one, that's a really cool tracker. I kind of couldn't read all of it, like to like what you had on it. But if you wouldn't mind sharing that with me, I think the
trying to
girls would
like
love that.
attach it. How there's a way I could attach it in our chat here? Maybe not. I'll just send it to you. I have it
Okay.
like right on my desktop, so I'll send it to you.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys, thank you so much.
All right.
Y'all later. Bye.
Yeah.